Hey guys, Seafood Adam Willis here, coming to you from my home in Florida. I want to show you how to punch on the wall bag and how to use that to develop your good Wing Chun punches. Now when I say good Wing Chun punches, I am referring to leverage-based punches, sometimes called internal punches. So that's what this video is going to be about. However, I want you to wait until the end as well. I've got a bonus lesson which is going to help you to understand the difference between internal versus external punching, and really how to develop, which you'll also see in that lesson, is how to develop this internal penetrating, piercing power that goes right through the surface of things and delves deep right inside, all right? The effect of them comes from a byproduct of our structure and our ability to send energy from a very, very stable spot. Okay, so really think about leverage. This is leverage. Our center becomes the fulcrum, and the more our center moves, the less leverage we have. In our approach to Wing Chun here at the Dragon Institute, when we practice on the wall bag, our goal is to change ourselves on the inside. It's to create structure and the ability to withstand pressure, the rebound from what we're punching at. So when we're using the wall bag, we are not pounding away at the wall bag because we are not trying to move it. We are trying to use leverage to do the power. And this is often called internal, but you could also just refer to it as leverage in case that word internal doesn't jive with you. Either way, when we're trying to punch this, we are not trying to punch hard. We're only trying to punch as hard as our center of balance and our structure can adhere. You can go here or lower. Let's just go on this one right now. So when you're delivering punches, try your best to maintain your stability. And you're going to feel the difference between when you're hitting it in a more force against force way or in a more leverage-based way. And that's how I'm going to refer to these things. I'm not going to talk about internal and external too much anymore because that just goes by the wayside. Force against force versus a leverage-based approach. And a leverage-based approach uses the opposite in order to go that way. You think of it a jack. Jack goes down in order to come up, okay? So that's what I want you to think about as we're working on the wall bag. You get one of these wall bags, you can get them online anywhere, it doesn't matter. Put it against the wall and hit it. It's different than a heavy bag because you're not trying to move this, okay? So it's completely different. When you have a heavy bag, even after all my experience, when I feel myself hitting a heavy bag, I start to go in a force against force way because the goal still in your mind is to hit that heavy bag and move it, to move that heavy bag, right? So that's not the goal here. It's not to move this because you can never move this. It is to not move yourself. That's the number one thing that you're doing. So remember that when you're practicing your wall bag. Can you do it in succession chain punches? Sure. Can you do it in just one? Sure, you can. But make sure that you're doing it in a way that you're focusing more on yourself than you are focusing so much on the byproduct of what happens. For a good Wing Chun punch in our line, the effect of them comes from a byproduct of our structure and our ability to send energy from a very, very stable spot. Okay, so really think about leverage. This is leverage. Our center becomes the fulcrum, and the more our center moves, the less leverage we have. Starting off, an external punch basically what it does is it takes the surface of something and it drives hard through that surface and tries to take the surface with it through the other person. Now in Wing Chun, which is an internal art, like I was saying, we do not want to deal with the surface hardly at all. What we want to do is we want to try to bypass that surface. We want to try to get to the inside. So what we're doing is we're trying to knife through that surface, not take the surface with us. So therefore, punching harder is not always best for us, because what we need to do is we need to get through that surface, okay? So in order to develop the penetrating force of Wing Chun, this is contrary to what most people want to hear, but it's the truth. After 27 years of doing this, I can tell you, you need to punch softer. You need to be more precise in what you're doing and not just bang away at it. Too many people bang away at these things and you're just not developing what we're trying to develop. So punch softer. And when you punch softer, punch in a way that goes right through the one point that you're punching with, which is basically the pinky line. I like to go just one above the pinky line, but if you want to go straight to your pinky line, that's fine. It's through that on the bone, the elbow. Now punch softer, okay? Drive your elbow through. And I want you to try as little as possible to focus on the surface. I want you to, is it easy? Is it easy? Can I just go right through that surface? Or do I feel a very hard surface there? Now in the beginning, you're gonna feel that surface and you're not gonna be able to get beyond it. Energetically, you can pierce through certain things. So go soft. Now the next step is to see how much your body is shaking or vibrating, or you know, how much you're disturbing yourself when you punch. So if you're punching so hard and your body is being disturbed, you're not building the internal power that we need. Now, internal piercing power requires a root and a structure. What does that mean? It requires a solidity within the body, inside, and to the ground. So you want to be part of the ground as you deliver your strike, okay? And you can't really see, and you certainly can't feel this, and it doesn't look like much on the video. The only thing you can really do is feel this from somebody that has it. I can give you the information, but until you feel it from somebody, you're gonna have a hard time believing it. But I can still give you the honest information after all these years. So try your best. Now engage your glutes, and that's the two muscles we want to use in order to really connect our arms and legs to our torso are the lat muscles and the glute muscles. We tuck the scapulas under and we tuck the pelvis under. We tuck both of them, so shoulders are down and we're tucked, no butt sticking out. Then from there, really engage your lats and your glutes and apply as much as you can. When you feel yourself shaking yourself, back off. You've got to be disciplined in your mind when you're practicing. This wall bag is not supposed to move. That's why it's different than a heavy bag. Heavy bags, you want to really hit hard and try to crease that thing, right? So wall bags are different. It's solid. So it's your solidity against this solidity, and you'll never be able to beat this. So you can't go harder and harder in order to beat it. It's not going to beat. So make sure you go nice and soft through, and gradually as your structure increases, as your hand relaxes. Now, let's go back to the hand again. That one point has to be entering through. So you can't make a tight hand, because then that's like a cannonball, and I showed that in one of my previous videos. But in order to actually punch, you go through that surface.